We are now on the second step of our project, which is to create the LoFi prototype of our hero section. Since this is a LoFi prototype, as per our discussion a while ago, it should have some kind of interaction. But since, again, we are limited of time, we're going to postpone the interaction and put it in the hi-fi prototype step 3. To start with, in our LoFi prototype, don't forget to paste your wireframe that you have created on the previous step. That would still be very important since that will guide our general layout on our LoFi prototype. Let's begin. We now have our wireframe posted here. So we can just duplicate that and then we can delete everything that is contained within this frame. To do that, open up the frame. You see here the little triangle pointing to the right. Just click that one. Click the first item, then hold shift up to the last item and hit delete. And that's deleted. It's also good to rename. So to do that, go to the frame, double click. Then this would be LoFi. We can now add the logo and some header copy, body copy, and of course the CTA button. So let's start first with the navigation. To do this, we need to, of course, upload the Serif logo. You can do that on the hi-fi or you can also do that on the lo-fi. It depends on your fidelity, but it's good to have that visualized already here. So to upload any items inside the Figma, go to this shape toolbar, place image, or you can also click Ctrl Shift K. Search for your logo, and then you can click place all, or you can also drag. Let's just click place all. And that's it. You now have your logo. To also show us that these items here are icons, maybe you can put a placeholder such as this icon image. Again, you can also drop or you can also drag if you want it to be sized accordingly. Right. So maybe this is like a hamburger menu. So we can just duplicate that, then duplicate it again. So this will now be the items for your header. Now, Suriv is a project which is better when it is in dark UI. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to change the background of this frame. And to do that, we now have to introduce the concept of fills. So we have here our fill. We can change that by going, again, clicking the frame, going to the design panel, go to fill, then just drag. Now, this is still a lo-fi prototype. You can introduce a little bit of visual design, but again, the key here is to make it as quick as possible since these are just prototypes and we don't have to go to the nitty-gritty of the visual design. So maybe this would be already good. However, our icon images here, they are not vectors. They are images. To change any or to edit any elements which are already images in your Figma, what you're going to do is you select them, you go to fill as well, and Figma has this very handy editing tool that you can change the exposure, contrast, saturation, temperature, tint, highlights, and shadows. You can also do this on images. For this, we can change it to from black to white. All right. So this will now be, let's show our guide. Don't forget Shift G. Let's just put it here. Shift G. Now at this juncture, what you're going to do is we're going to add our copy. The copy that will be pasted here. So To do that, go to your text tool, click, and then just drag. Our copy is the new generation of phone cases. Okay, now to change the font of your text, you can select all, then go to the design panel, text section, and then this is where you can change the font. Since this is a LoFi prototype, you can use a generic font like Roboto, Inter, Montserrat. Now to change it from regular to bold to light, you can change it from this side of the panel, example, bold. To change the font size, go here, or you can actually drag. So just a little bit from this side of this box here, the arrow will change. And then when you slide to the right, it will actually increase its size. Or you can also change it manually, for example, 64. To change its alignment, for example, this is left aligned. If you want it center aligned, you change it from here, and that's center aligned already. Now, right now, it is set to fixed size, meaning if we, for example, copy that, it will follow the size of this border. However, if you set it to fixed width, in auto height, the height will change as you progress. If you set it to auto width, the width will adjust depending on your sentence. For example, I change this, we'll move from there. You change it to auto width, auto height, and then you drag. See, it will accommodate that as well. To center align this, click this align horizontal centers. It will be aligned to the center. Okay, so that is now our text. Next is we're going to create our button. So this is now a great opportunity for us to be introduced on how to create buttons. This is very important in terms of UX design, of course. Buttons are a way for the user and the system to communicate. To add the button, simply add again another text and write your CPA copy. For example, see more. This doesn't seem like a button. Let's change it to regular and decrease its size to about 24, maybe 32, something like that. And if this is a button, it is good to start with auto width. Later on, I'm going to show you the reason, but click auto width. You now have your see more button. Now, this doesn't seem like a button. For us to change this, you have to click again, and then right click, add auto layout, or you can also click Shift A. So auto layouts are very powerful. It allows you to change the dimension, just like what the term said, automatically it will adapt to the size of what is in the frame. To demonstrate this, it's better for us to create it a fill. So it's filling it with white. For the content to be visible, change the text. So how do you change the text if you can see it? If you're going to look at here, that is the frame tool. If you click again, you can see that inside the frame tool, you have your text. So you can navigate through the nesting either here, or you can also click here and then click again. You're going to see the nested text there. And the fill here now signifies the fill on the text, since you are actually choosing the text, not the whole auto layout frame. So just change the color, something like that. Now, it looks a little bit cramped. So how can we edit this? So to do that, go to the auto layout section, and then this is where you can change its properties. For example, if you want to change the border on the side, see, this is the border on the side, the pink line here. You can, again, manually type your distance, for example, 16. And also, you can manually change the top and bottom border, for example, 12. Like that. So let's push this to about, like, say 24. So see, now if you change the content, this is how we're going to demonstrate the power of auto layout. For example, instead of see more, we want it to be buy now. See, it adjusts. So you can change it to see more. Let's change the corner radius to 8. Then let's put this back to see more. Okay, that's now auto layout. All right. So we're going to still have the image. Now to represent that, I'm going to borrow this group from our previous wireframe. We all then paste it again here. Adjust it accordingly. Then send to back. And then probably change its opacity. Okay, again, what it signifies is that we're going to put an image below this, maybe again a creative product shot of the item. Now these are not aligned, so let's align it. Click both, then click align horizontal centers. Now aligned, put it on the center, something like that. At this juncture, we now have our finished LoFi prototype for the hero section of the Suriv landing page. And if you're going to observe, that looks very similar to what our wireframe is. So we have here our own definition of our navigation, our header, subheader, and of course our CTA button. We can also add here a primary CTA button, which I actually did here on the finished version. Obviously, this would take much more time than what we have done a while ago, but I've also made some adjustment, like I decreased the size of those icon placeholders, our logo, and this would be the different section. Obviously, those are just placeholders as well. And this would be the product page. Okay, so if you can observe at this juncture, you can now already talk to your project manager or your any of your stakeholder or client if they would like to put actual copies on this, and what images or what other assets they can provide you, so you can now proceed with the high fidelity phase. You can also create some interactions in here, but again, we're going to do that on the high fidelity on our next tutorial.